It looked
Oh.
better.
Like this?
The other one.
There.
Perfect.
Hey guys, great morning. It is Friday morning. And again, more coffee. It's kind of weird. Again,
for me too.
I don't think anyone out there is, getting accustomed to saying, "Hey, this is this day, this is that day." All our days are looking so much alike. But
Well, maybe if you don't have a job or you're at home.
some of us are essentials.
Actually, you know what? I'll be honest. Also, you really do lose the days. They all feel like Saturdays, and a lot of that is just because our way of life is kind of been thrown off a little bit. But yeah, I know today's Friday because I have to pay my employees, so I know that for sure.
And I'm sure they know that for sure.
Oh, they definitely know that. We call it Hilarious Friday because everything I say is really funny on payday. So suddenly I become so much more funny.
And Cindy's saying good morning, Mayor. Cindy,
Morning.
well, we'll go into Dr. Gutierrez's in a bit. She's got a question about Dr. Gutierrez. Good morning, Natalia. And let me tell you, one of the things that we were talking just right now is in regards to probably the governor of the great state of Texas is going to be having, a little press conference. And, they've been very consistent in regards to having a lot of Mayor Trey Mendez. Hey, that's your new name, bro. We should have put that on your little title down there, Mayor Trey Mendez.
Sure.
As the Trey Mendez. Every other day they seem to be having a little press conference, to clarify a lot of the things. And I think that's important for many reasons. I think it's important because everything is changing. You have to base everything on the numbers and what's happening. Good morning, everyone from La Famosa Southmost. So you just, it's a never-ending battle. One of the things that I think that we've been trying to say, Mayor, is that, this is new for everyone, So, again, there's going to be modifications and changes being made, on a regular basis because this has never been seen in the history of humankind, of mankind throughout the world. Is that correct, Mayor?
Well, it has been seen, but it's been a long time. It's been over 100 years since we've seen anything similar to this on a worldwide scale, right? So things are evolving by the day, almost like the virus itself. Our way of life is mutating. The orders that we see from the governor, from the county judge, from the city, they're all trying to be as flexible as possible, and they're ever changing. So we do need to try and keep abreast of all the info that's out there. And with social media and with all the internet technology we have, news travels so fast that things can change very quickly. And, it's not all elected officials always are on top of everything. So they might not know the answer to everything, or they might not know that there's been another order issued by the governor of Georgia, or, President Trump said this 15 minutes ago. Not everybody knows what's going on because things happen so fast. But, I try and stay on top of everything as much as I can. I usually have a pretty good pulse of what's going on and on a national scale and sometimes on a global scale. But it's hard. It's hard as an elected official and as mayor. It's hard to keep up with everything, but I do my best. And I think everything the city's done so far has worked out. I know that some people get upset at certain measures, but overall it's been for everybody's safety. And I think we've done a good job of avoiding a real crisis for the hospital system.
Well, I think we've been consistent, and I think a lot of other individuals have been consistent. The people are saying it. Mayor Trey Mendez, everyone has been very appreciative. I think that one of the things that has made you all shine, the city commission, and especially you, Mayor, is that y'all are out there trying to inform people. And I've seen your posts on your mayor page. And, you're just out there constantly. And again, I've known you for a while, sir. And I know that you're on this 24/7. And that's something that has been, it's new for the city of Brownsville, Mayor. It's new for the city of Brownsville because we've never had leadership like that. At least in our lifetime, we never had that type of leadership that, was visible, accessible, and, ready to answer questions,
Well, Erasmo, when I was running and when I got elected, I felt that I was a candidate that people felt they could relate to, and I felt that my message resonated with the voters. And I feel a real responsibility to our city and to our citizens. So I'm taking it upon myself to be as informative as possible. My mayor page on Facebook, I try and be as active as I can. If you look at the posts, they're very fact based. I don't engage in any sort of rumor mongering, and I don't talk about other public entities. I just try and put the facts out there, let people know what's going on, try and be as informative as I can, and then try and respond to as many messages as I can. If there's profanity or something, I'm not going to allow that kind of post. But if you have genuine questions, I do get a lot of questions to my inbox. I try and answer as many as I can. So really, for me, it's about I can't speak to the other commissioners. Quite honestly, I haven't really been monitoring our other commissioners' pages. It's a full-time job just trying to manage my own social media right now. Yeah. If you look at my stuff, I mean, really, I'm just trying to inform everybody, trying to stay as engaged as I can, and trying to give the community the information they need on a real-time basis as much as I can.
Well, let me tell you, Mayor, one of the things that I think that we're, again, in regards to the learning curve, and this is the way I see it, and I'm sure y'all might have a different opinion in regards to it. One of the things that we've been trying to tell individuals is that when the governor makes a mandate, or in the case that we've been dealing with in regards to TEA, when they give mandates for the state of Texas, people need to understand that the state of Texas is very diverse in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
In so many ways. And what might fit for, and again, we've said it regularly, what might fit for a little town in West Texas, like Odessa or little Pecos out there, or a small town like in East Texas, like Omaha or Mount Pleasant or Pittsburgh, doesn't necessarily fit the city of Brownsville, because you have to weigh a lot of the different circumstances that certain region, that certain area, is experiencing at that time. What we try to say is, like, hey, for us here, with our positives, you can't compare that to another little city out there that has no positives, or a county out there that has no positives. So what is your take in regards to the opening up of the state in regards to the differences in the different cities?
Well, I agree. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all state, and there's all sorts of different pockets across the country where people's ideologies are different. Texas, if we didn't have the governor, or certainly if we didn't have the lieutenant governor that we have, I don't think there'd be as much deference given to religious services. You and I understand how that works. I think that there was a large part of the lieutenant governor and governor's base is the religious right, and I understand that. But what I do appreciate, though, as far as religious services down here, is that our bishop has canceled all in-person services. The other church groups have been working with the county judge on being very safe. And for me, that's really what it's about. It's about being safe and taking as many precautions as you can. As far as opening up the state, I think it's a little premature. I do think that at least we're not doing what Georgia's doing. I think Georgia is acting completely irresponsibly in the way that they're managing their state. It's extremely premature there. Their governor is doing, in my opinion, an awful job at managing the crisis in his state, and I think we're going to see the repercussions of that over the next 2 or 3 weeks. But in Texas so far, I've got to say, I expected a lot more, a more aggressive opening of the state by Governor Abbott, and I know that him and the lieutenant governor did have some differences of opinion on how to go about this, and I respect Governor Abbott's decision to be a little bit more conservative in the way that he's done it. I know Lieutenant Governor Patrick wanted to be a lot more aggressive about it, but I think the governor's plan at this point has been about as good as I would have expected in the way that they're managing it. Like I said, I expected a lot more things to open, and I really was really concerned about what may possibly happen. But so far, I think the plan is cautious. There are certain things that are going to be opening that possibly maybe shouldn't be opening yet, but I do like the scaled up approach. However, the most important thing in opening up any state or opening up the country is going to be access to testing. Because if you're going to be trying to trace who's sick and who isn't, you need an effective testing system. Then on the back end, you're going to need an effective sort of tech application or some sort of app system that's going to be able to monitor where people are sick, who they've come in contact with, and then have an aggressive approach as far as trying to get those people tested. As of now, we still have a severe shortage in testing kits, access to testing. That's a national level. So if people expect for us to be testing aggressively on a large scale, I don't see that happening for at least another month at best. We just don't have access to those test kits. And, I see a lot of questions to you and to the county judge, and I get a lot of these questions as well as far as, well, what are we doing about testing? And my first thought is, are you not paying attention to what's going on and realize that there is no tests that are readily available? But because of that, the city did what it did. We're going on almost a month now that the city instituted its drive-through test. And at the time, it was very clear to me that the two things we need to do to keep our community safe were keep us socially distanced, right? Keep that space and try and isolate people as much as we possibly could. And then second, start testing people and figure out who was sick. And that was done really well in coordination with the county, because the city was doing all the testing. And up to date, we've done almost 1,400 tests in our drive-through. And the way it works is the city will do the drive-through, and those individuals are instructed to stay home during the pendency of the test. Then if they're negative, they're still instructed to stay home until their symptoms stop. And if they are positive, then we hand over that information to the county. The county follows up, does as much contact tracing as they can to try and figure out who those individuals may have been with or who they may have exposed. They follow up with those individuals to try and test them. So it's been a good effort on behalf of the city, certainly, and the county, and being a team and trying to determine who's sick and who isn't. But until we have a larger scale testing program across the county, it's going to be harder for us to be able to move on quickly.
Mayor, in regards to the testing, again, we do know that there is a shortage nationwide in regards to the test. As a mayor, do you feel confident in saying that we feel that we will have enough testing maybe in a month and a half from now? Is it accurate to state that is when the city of Brownsville will potentially open up for business once you have those tests?
Well, I'll be quite honest, Frankie. I think the city of Brownsville right now is prepared with testing. I think we can test whoever we need to test. We have the capability to test a couple hundred people a day right now, and we've had that capability for 3 weeks to a month. So the city itself is prepared. I feel no reservations really about the city. My concern, though, is the county level, Harlingen, San Benito, McAllen, all these other cities in the valley. McAllen, I believe, has some drive-through testing, but I feel really confident in the city's position as far as being able to test people. What I don't feel so confident about is that we just don't have a countywide testing system in place that's going to do mass testing. This county follows up with testing that's being done through doctors' offices, our drive-through, hospitals. But up to now, and the county's in a different position than the city, right? The county manages more than 500,000 people. We manage almost 200,000. So the city commission, when they decided to do this, we allocated the funding and we said, you know what, we got to do this. We got to figure out a way to do it, and we're going to do it because it means it's really a life and death situation. So if you look at the numbers, the city of Brownsville's, as of yesterday, was at 105. About 75% of those positives came through our drive-through testing. So if we didn't have drive-through testing, those 1,300 people would have still been going to HEB. They still would have been going out there, exposing themselves to the community. And that could have led to even, larger widespread infection. But also, if it wasn't for our drive-through testing, the city of Brownsville would have a total of 25, maybe, positives. And that's not a reflection of what's really going on out there. So, Frankie, to answer your question, I feel the city is well-positioned as far as testing. But on a county level, we're not there yet. And it's hard for me to answer when we will be, because a lot of that is determined by the state. The county really is reliant on the state as far as getting access to the tests and getting access to those resources. And I really have no control over their management or how it is that they're going about that. All I can say is the city itself is well positioned, and we're working with the county as much as we can to try and get people tested.
Thank you, Mayor. Chris has been asking a question, and I didn't mean to ignore it. It's just that There's a lot of questions coming in. The question was in regards, and I know that you recently were out there at Valley Regional. It's in regards to Valley Regional becoming a hub of sorts, HCA COVID infected here in Brownsville. I know that that was something that was mentioned some time back. Is there any truth to that they're sending individuals here to the city of Brownsville?
No, actually, I'm on a conference call with both hospitals twice a week. I just had one actually at 8 a.m. this morning, so I'm always well informed as to what's going on in the hospitals. I get a daily report, and that what that individual is referring to. There was a time, maybe about a month ago, on the front end of this when the hospital, Valley Regional, is part of a hospital group that also has a sister facility, I think, in McAllen, if I'm not mistaken. So there was one point, and it happened. It was one patient, and it happened almost a month ago, where one patient who had tested positive in Hidalgo County was transferred down here for treatment. And I think at the time, the hospital system, I think, was considering treating its COVID positive in Brownsville, but that lasted maybe 2 days, and that stopped. So that hasn't, my gosh, that hasn't been an issue for almost a month. It happened, like I said, for maybe 2 days. Then it hasn't been an issue since. And as of right now, Valley Regional actually has, I think they've got 8 COVID positive patients at their facility now. Valley Baptist has 0, but no, they're not bringing Hidalgo County positives down here. That happened, like I said, for a couple days.
Yeah, I remember it was something that was mentioned back then. I think, and just to answer Chris' question, I think they actually clarified back then. Right. That, there was something that was considered, that was leaked out, but it was something that they were not going to do. The issue with that patient was that at that moment, it was just an isolated case, but it didn't go out. And to answer Eggman's question, down Southmost, I think it's the city of Brownsville that's actually coordinating with, if I'm not mistaken, you correct me, Mayor, with United.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the food drive that's going on right now? Yeah, actually, I did want to mention that. It started at 9 o'clock, and it's at the Southmost Public Library. There's going to be 1,000 bags that are going to be distributed today. It's part of the United Against Hunger initiative, and that's a coordinated effort between the City of Brownsville, United Way, the Brownsville Community Foundation, and a few other entities that have put their resources together, brought together a lot of funding, and they're distributing food to those individuals that need it. Today, it's at the Southmost Public Library. Next week, it's going to be at another location. So every other week, it's going to be at the Southmost Library. But that's a fantastic effort, and it's really a showing of how entities can pull together to work for the community. And what another benefit of that actually is that initiative is bringing on employees from restaurants that have been furloughed or that have been laid off, and it's giving them some work to help put the bags together, to help distribute the bags. It's all safe. There's face masks, gloves. I believe the distribution of food is being done in it's contactless, so it's either being put in their back seat, in their trunk, something like that. So it's really safe, and they took all the precautions. It's a great initiative, and I hope that everybody participates. So it started at 9, and there'll be 1,000 bags distributed.
One of the questions was asked by Peters in regards to individuals coming in from Matamoros. I will say that I had the opportunity to travel into Matamoros yesterday, and again, because I needed to go get some medicina personal. But I do know that once you go into Matamoros, they're doing a lot of extra screening in regards to out there, and also when you're coming back from Matamoros, they're doing extra screening in reference. Our customs agents, and I think one of the things that the city of Brownsville has done is has made sure that there's a constant feedback from the different entities that are close to the border in regards to people coming across. Is that correct, Mayor?
Yes, actually, I'm in communication constantly with our port director Taylor Ortiz, who deals with the port of entries on the CBP side, and what I can say is that the cross-border traffic right now, Matamoros, whenever somebody's crossing that way, I know they're checking temperatures. I know they're making sure you have masks and gloves, and if you don't, you're going to be sent back. What we're doing on our side is, I don't know if people saw, but it was about a week ago or more, I reached out to Congressman Vela because I was concerned about this particular issue as well. And I reached out to him on 3 points. One of them was I was asking that the CBP officers be required or be provided with protective equipment for themselves. Second, I asked for screenings of the individuals that were coming in, temperature checks and other monitoring. And then third, I asked that they make sure that individuals that are the pedestrians that are waiting to cross maintain safe distance from each other. So Congressman Vela did reach out to federal authorities, and my understanding is those things have happened, and the CBP officers have their protective equipment. So that is definitely some precautions that are being taken. So we're being as safe as we can, and we are coordinating with the feds on making that possible. So I think it's actually been pretty positive over the last couple of weeks.
It has. I'm sorry, go Frankie.
Mayor, in regards to monitoring, Erasmo had just previously mentioned that the city of Matamoros, is actively either taking temperature or evaluating the traffic that is coming and going. As we all know, Harlingen's nursing homes have been hit very hard with this COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, and I believe we have 14 deaths in Cameron County, and I believe 13 of them are patients, if I'm mistaken. One being a worker from one of these nursing homes. Have you had communication with these nursing homes to try and see if we can get the majority, if not all, of the patients and workers evaluated to try and prevent this from happening in our city?
Well, I don't know if you pointed it out, but those two facilities are in Harlingen. It's really scary how quickly that spread, how much it spread, the proliferation of that amongst employees and sadly amongst the patients and the individuals that were there. You said 13 deaths now, right? I think, and counting. But as soon as that outbreak started happening a couple of weeks ago, we saw how quickly it was happening. I made sure that our health department went to visit all the nursing homes in the city. And we were already restricting nursing homes to patients only. So we did reach out and make sure that they were taking proper precautions, that they had the proper safety equipment, that they were monitoring everybody. And we've been proactive on that. And I feel really confident about the way it's been handled. I was concerned, though, as soon as this stuff started happening in Harlingen, and I talked to Erasmo about this, too, a couple weeks ago. I said that was one of my major concerns is avoiding an outbreak at a nursing home or some sort of other long-term medical facility. So as of now, I think we're on top of it, Frankie. Our health department's on top of it. They've done a good job of staying on this and monitoring it. We can't prevent everything, obviously. We can't be there 24/7, but as far as what we've done within our authority, we've done it, and I feel pretty good about it, actually.
Well, I think one of the things that has made the city of Brownsville shine, and again, one of the things that I try to do, I try to follow different trends throughout the state of Texas, because I like to do the research and I like to read a lot. And one of the things that I think that where the city of Brownsville has outshined is that they've been very proactive in regards to a lot of these measures, that when something pops up, automatically, I do remember our conversations, some weeks back in regards to the nursing homes, and I personally, I felt very assured that our nursing homes were going to be in a good place because of the measures that have been taken up by the city of Brownsville, because of your leadership, Mayor, and protecting the residents of the city of Brownsville. And again, that should be concern number one in regards to anything other out there. But one of the things that I've been seeing in regards to some of the cities out there, can't remember which city it is, it hasn't been made by mine, was that they are now foreseeing a drop in regards to the sales tax revenue.
Well, that's going to be every city, Erasmo. Our sales tax revenue is going to take a hit, at least 15%. And it's hard to project right now, because the data takes a little bit of time to get, because it's usually delayed by a month or two. But it's hard. It's really hard to determine, because there's been some places where people are still shopping, obviously H-E-B, Walmart's, places like that. But then the mom and pop retail has suffered. It's taken a big hit, and that affects us on all the way around on our budget and some of the allocations being made there. The good thing is that a lot of the money we spent on the COVID initiative, we are expecting that to be 75% reimbursable by FEMA and other federal programs. So we are happy about that. when we took this initiative and we just said, you know what, we're going to go forward with the testing. We didn't know if it was going to be reimbursed or not, but we still did it because we knew it was going to be for the safety of the community, right? Which is, like you said, for me, that's number one. That's priority number one. I know people are going to be upset at me for certain things. I know it's going to affect them, their pocketbook or their business. But in the end, and I said this week one, I'd rather apologize to the small business owner than have to apologize to somebody who lost a loved one because we weren't safe or we didn't take enough precautions. But I will say, you know, Erasmo, I feel that we had to set the tone, and I feel that Brownsville, and I tell this to our administration, I say Brownsville's the largest city in the valley. We need to act like it. And when we were putting our emergency management team together and our emergency operations team together, this was, I think, March 15, March 16, and I remember that we were having a phone conference, and several of our team members were on there, and they kept referring to the fact that we didn't have any positives. We didn't have any confirmed positives in Brownsville, and I said, guys, we got to stop this right now. That is the last time I want to hear anybody mention that we don't have any confirmed positives, because that is the wrong approach to take. We need to act as though we have several hundred positives already in the city, because we actually do. We just don't know where they are. So our job is to act as though we're in the middle of this now, be prepared, be the leaders, and start putting in the initiatives, be innovative, and be proactive. And at that time, when they were talking about not having any confirmed positives, we had tested as a county, I think maybe 7 people. So to say that we didn't have any confirmed positives was factually correct, but it was extremely naive and irresponsible to say, because I think that at the time, you shouldn't be patting yourself on the back because we didn't have any confirmed positives, because we had only tested less than 10 people. So I think setting that tone from the beginning and hitting the ground running as a team has been very helpful. And we put the team together. You know, we made the emergency declaration on the 17th. And it's been running and gunning since then, and we haven't stopped. And I got to give credit to all the team members and the commission. I mean, they've been proactive. They've had their eyes and ears on the, out there. And our team has been working, 16-hour days since the beginning of this. And our chief, both chiefs, our police chief in particular, has been, out there with his team daily, in the office, 16 hours a day, leading by example. I mean, we've got a great team, and if we didn't have this team and everybody doing their part, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I'm very, very happy as of now where we are as a city and how we responded to this crisis.
Mayor, and again, I mean, I think it is very evident. I think because of the technological age that we live in, we're able to see a lot more than what we were able to see many years or decades ago. I know your time is very, very limited. So I just one more in regards to the city parks. We did read in the Herald today, and we did hear from the city. The city parks are open. Can you tell us a little bit more in regards to the decision of the commission and yourself in order to open this up for the community?
Sure. Well, the hike and bike trails have been open the whole time, because we, like the rest of the state and the county, want to encourage individuals to continue to be out there, continue to exercise, ride their bikes, run, jog, walk with their families. And I've seen a heck of a lot more people out there with their families walking on bikes. It's been nice to see that families, I think, are reconnecting. But on the park side, we had our parks closed for a couple of weeks. And actually, we've had the parks open in some respects for the last couple of weeks. What we did as a city commission on Tuesday was really just formalize that in writing. So our parks are open. However, the equipment, certain things like jungle gyms, restrooms, certain areas where there may be contact that people are going to have a hard time staying away from, that could possibly spread disease, are closed, and they're being closed to those individuals. But let's just say, for example, Washington Park, that's open. People are certainly encouraged to go out there, spend some time with their loved ones. Just keep your distance, continue to wear your facial covering, and enjoy yourselves and try and reconnect with yourself and with your family during this time. And God willing, we'll be out of this as soon as we possibly can.
Mayor, any last words? I know, again, I don't want to keep you too long. Any last words for the city of Brownsville?
From the city of Brownsville, I just want to thank everybody that's done their part to manage this. If the individuals and our citizens didn't listen to the orders or didn't respect the orders, we'd be in a lot worse position than we are now. Thankfully, our hospital system has not been overwhelmed, and a large part of the reason that we did shelter in place and then we did facial coverings and all these other things was to avoid a crisis like other countries and other cities in the U.S. had, and that is to overwhelm our hospital system. So we certainly didn't want to do that, but I want to thank everybody that's been out there, been active, been spreading positivity, and really been adhering to the guidelines that we've put out there. It's been for everybody's safety. And in my opinion, and I know you and I, Erasmo, I think differ on this, but I think that we're on the opposite end of the curve. I think we're on the downside. However, it could easily turn back the other way if we just think that everything's normal, because it's not. We still have people out there that are sick, and we still need to take our precautions. I think we've managed to avoid the worst of it. However, if we see that some of these measures that are being taken across the country and now, as per the governor, I think that if those aren't done cautiously, then I think we can be right back where we were a couple weeks ago. But I think the peak has happened. If you look at data and statistics and the two leading studies out there, I think the state peaked. I think our city peaked, but I'm not celebrating yet. I'm not ready to have any graduation ceremonies yet. But really, I mean, I think that the worst has passed based on the precautions that we took. However, it's certainly no reason to celebrate. We're not out of it by any stretch. And if we don't continue to practice distancing and take precautions, we're going to be right back where we were. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for being respectful. I'd say 95% of the people that I interact with on social media have been very polite, very respectful, and understanding. I really appreciate that. And the ones that aren't, well, you know, I can't really help that too much. But thanks, Erasmo and Frankie, for having me on. And any questions come up, just reach out.
And I will say, and because it has been a couple of times that this came up, I'll answer this myself, and I've answered it already. The mandate in regards to the golf courses and the car wash was an order from the county judge. That was not necessarily an order of the city of Brownsville.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, the city had nothing to do with that. And I'll tell you what, another thing too, on my social media, I would say that more than half of the issues that I have are as a result of the county orders. You know, and I want people to understand, I don't put the county orders together.
Yes.
I know Judge Trevino is doing what he believes is best for the county, and I cannot fault him for any of that. I think he's been, you know, since spring break, I think he's been pretty proactive at handling this and very aggressive, and I think it's shown. But the county orders are put together by the county judge, you know, in coordination with Tom Hushin, his emergency management coordinator, the epidemiologist, and he does get input from cities and other elected officials. So, but you know, I can't respond to a lot of the questions regarding the county orders because I didn't put them together. And there's some very specific scenarios that I don't always know the answer to, but I do my best to try and get an answer. But yeah, I mean, the county orders were dealing with car washes and golf courses. The state also actually put out something regarding car washes. So the car wash, I'm sure, has a pretty strong lobby. But you know, and the private golf course probably has a good lobby too. But you know, I said, you know, as soon as we open, or as soon as the county opened public golf course, I said, you know, we should open the public ones, or consider opening public ones as well. The city, as of now, is not ready to open the municipal golf course yet. We're not at that position yet. But when we do, we'll follow the guidelines set out by the county, which I think are pretty good. So the city golf course is not open yet, but I know Harlingen's going to open theirs, and there's some other private golf courses that are open in the city.
Yeah, and again, and just for our people out there, folks, you know, it is important to do proper research, and that's one of the things that we hope to put out there, enough material for you all to do a little bit, an ounce of research. So again, and I appreciate the questions coming in, but let's separate, you know, the mandates that are coming in from the state and the mandates that are coming in from the county and the mandates that are put out by our local city government. And with that said, also, people, we have to be a little bit understanding in regards to knowing that what applies to a little, again, so I'll say it again, it applies to a little town way up in the boonies, does not necessarily going to apply to the city of Brownsville. So again, Mayor Tremendous, or Mayor Giuliani, I heard that one, Mayor Trey Giuliani.
I don't mind a Giuliani comparison maybe in 2001, but I certainly don't want to be compared to
Well, I think they were making reference to what Moe is saying. To be fair, our local leaders are under extreme pressure, and they have handled most of the situation in an outstanding manner. And I think that's what it's referring to. The Mayor Giuliani in the time of 9/11.
Yeah. Let's make that connection in 2001 Giuliani, not 2020.
2020.
Mayor Mendez, have a beautiful day. Thank you for everything that you do for the city.
Thanks, guys.
God bless you. Send our regards to the health department, the commission, and all the amazing workers out there in the city of Brownsville doing their best. We'll continue to post out information in regards to what's going on with PUB in regards to and I appreciate your action. When we had the question, I mean, you acted upon it immediately, and to the other resources out available. And thank you all so much for everything you do, Mayor.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Appreciate you, and thank you guys, and thank you, Mayor Mendez, for coming on. And I'm sorry we couldn't get to absolutely everything out there, but we will try to respond, not for the mayor, but try to say what's going on. Right now, there's a huge line from International Charlie Clark to Southmost HEB. Maybe that BISD is giving away food. No, this is actually the city of Brownsville and United Way. Now, someone was making mention in regards to some of the board members out there on Boca Chica. What are they doing? What was going on? And again, as to what it is, they're the top 10%. The board might be out there putting little signs in front of people's houses. Again, as the it is what it is. Frankie, anything else?
No, just
I mean, we talk about, but anything in regards to what we just talked about with the mayor.
No, it's just very informative. I'm glad we have a mayor who is accessible to the community. Here, he's been here throughout, the inception of Brownsville Talk. It says a lot about his leadership. So the community greatly appreciates his time.
Yes, very much so. And again, guys, we wanted the mayor to speak about a lot of the concerns we had in regards to the mayor stuff. We can now talk a little bit about what's going on with BISD. Is the mall open for pickup? Yes, the mall is open for curbside pickup.
Curbside.
The food court.
12 to 6.
12 to 6?
Yes, sir.
12 to 6, and there might be some other stuff out there available in regards to curbside. Guys, BISD, again, we posted up there, Frankie posted up there in his notes what's going on in regards to the notes that happened in regards to the meeting yesterday. I think that's important for us to know because it keeps us informed. It keeps us informed in regards to, what the decision process is at BISD. And again, I'm going to say that I read my own stuff on it. Frankie, what did you read from it?
Yeah, in short, it's just asking for them to come in. It is a soft opening, quote unquote. In my opinion, it is not following, the guidance or orders from the city of Brownsville, and that kind of bothers me. I understand that the state of Texas or the city of Brownsville Independent School District does get their mandates from TEA and from Governor Abbott, but to simply disregard Erasmo, our local mayor, to me is a slap in the face. Mayor Mendez was elected by the citizens of Brownsville. I feel like if he hasn't been given, that respect that he deserves, but in essence, what was written out to the teachers and to the principals out there, BISD does plan to come back May 4th, whether that's teachers only, whether that's classified staff, so to speak. I don't like it, Erasmo. Again, we have stressed the fact that we have 1 month, 3 or 4 or 5 weeks left of the school year. what is there a need for going back to school? I had a in my chat, with a couple friends from mine in San Antonio. They said, "Oh well, Frankie, you're making a big deal out of this. This is voluntary." And I said, "Yeah, guys, but you don't understand. This is politics. You know, voluntary means we better see you there, or we better see you working. It's a way of controlling the masses, Erasmo. Unfortunately, during this crisis, we would think that we would want the parents and the teachers at home taking care of their own families, but this is the reality that we're living with. I feel as if this superintendent, Dr. Gutierrez, has been out of tune, out of touch with our community. And going back, Erasmo, to the Charo Days fiasco, only BISD, nobody else. And then now this. It's unfortunate again. I feel as if we should focus on distant learning, but not come back to school May 4th.
And Mo, let me respond to your question, Mo, since I have you on the line. Mo's making the statement, BISD officials are elected also by the people. What Frankie is referring to, Mo, is that the one who makes the ultimate decisions, according to BISD, the one who makes the ultimate decision, Mo, in regards to BISD closing or not closing, is the superintendent. The responsibility, listen, falls on the superintendent. The superintendent is not an elected official, Mo. He should be a part of the community. And as part of the community, the mandate in regards to what is prescribed by law in an emergency situation falls on the mayor and the city commission. The mayor and the city commission have voted that no one goes back to campuses for the rest of the school year. Again, guys, Mo, it's not nitpicking. I mean, the mayor has made a mandate, and I don't want to put the mayor on the spot. And I'll say this: I don't want to put the mayor on the spot in regards to the stupid decisions that are being made by the superintendent. But if anyone out there is causing confusion, anyone out there is causing a disruption in the city of Brownsville, it is the wacko leadership at BISD. Because let me tell you guys, in a time where we should be united behind our mayor and our city commission, while they're trying to be out there to protect the lives of our Brownsville people, they put out very publicly a slap in the face to the city commission saying, your mandate is void and unenforceable. Let me tell you guys, in the time of crisis, you do not do such a thing. Do not do such a thing. But he is governed by the board. It doesn't matter, Mo. He can be governed by the board. But policy, and again, I'll put up the policy for you. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the policy if you like. Policy dictates that the one that has the final word is the superintendent, sir. And again, the board could jump up, scream, whatever. But it is the superintendent's responsibility to make sure that he is out there seeing for the safety and protection, not only our students, but of the personnel out there. He has failed at his duties. And let me tell you, and those policies are in play. The mayor should have clear communication with other elected officials.
He has.
And he has, Mo. I'm sorry, sir. And he has. He has had open, constant communication, and I know that for a fact. Now, the superintendent, what they're trying to do, Mo, it's very simple, man. Well, it's very simple. The superintendent is trying to pass the buck to the school board. The school board is trying to pass the buck to the superintendent. And you know why they do that? Because at the end of the day, they're throwing each other under the bus because there's no responsibility. Here you have a wacko superintendent going nuts and going crazy and shifting the blame to the board. And here you have the board shifting the blame out there to the superintendent. Now, in contrast, the mayor of the city of Brownsville has taken responsibility for the actions that he has taken. That is true leadership. That is true leadership. What they have demonstrated out there is a lack of respect for leadership. And again, if you have a lack of respect for the leadership in regards to saying this is what we need to do in order to keep ourselves safe, then we have chaos, and we cannot permit chaos to reign in the city of Brownsville during a pandemic. That is why we adhere as best as possible to the recommendations and suggestions of our local elected officials in the city of Brownsville, the one that oversees the safety and and concern for the city of Brownsville is the mayor and the city commission. He is our elected official, not the superintendent. But the superintendent should adhere to the recommendations of the mayor of Brownsville and should have ended the school year immediately because he is authorized by policy to do so. BISD should go to court because they do not obey the government's orders. And I agree 100%. Separation of powers, I agree. No, Mo. I mean, come on, bro. You're comparing Congress and the United States government to the city of Brownsville. It's not the same, bro. But it's not the same, sir. We understand separation of powers if you were talking about the mayor and the city manager and the city health. Maybe in that respect, there's a little separation of powers. A separation of powers agrees in regards. Let me go, but I don't agree on how it's being done. Well, I agree with you. Again, the separation of powers is superintendent has his responsibility and the school board has his responsibility. But the superintendent has the power, according to policy, to end the school year. I mean, we posted it. I posted it on my page before going on Facebook jail. And Mo, okay, and I apologize. Yeah, in regards to comparing local, county, district, state, federal, but that's going back to what we were talking with Mayor Mendez about, Mo. What we talked about with Mayor Mendez was exactly that there's a lot of mandates that the federal government is placing up there, and the state governors are placing, and the county judge. But at the end of the day, it falls on the local city because the federal government cannot dictate mandates for a particular city when a particular city is not in the same place as another city. And we made the comparison. We can't compare Pecos, Texas and Odessa, Texas to Brownsville, Texas. We can't compare Pittsburgh, Texas up here in the east, Longview to Brownsville, Texas, because they might not be going through the same things that we are going. We have had 2 nursing homes, and not in Brownsville, as the mayor explained, in Harlingen, in our county. We have had 2 nursing homes that have exploded and have caused the deaths here in Cameron County so far because all of them are surrounded around the nursing home. So again, guys, we're not in the same situation. So we have to adhere closer to our local government and the local government and the responsibility in regards to the health and well-being of the citizens of the city of Brownsville is the mayor of the city of Brownsville. You know, because the mayor of the city of Brownsville is going to know what's best for Brownsville better than the mayor of the city of Harlingen. And I make mention of that because also the mayor of the city of Los Fresnos in Port Isabel and Mayor-elect Nadine out there in Laguna Vista, because they oversee their little group of individuals. So they're going to take the mandate from the county and see how it applies. That's why, and again, Mayor Mendez mentioned it right now. That's why in the city of Brownsville, they have opted not to yet open the golfing, and golfing is now permitted as a county, but the city of Brownsville said, well, let's wait a little bit, and they have the power to do so. It's not necessarily going against the order. I mean, it's not. It's just that for right now, we have decided it's just not a great idea. Am I right, Frankie?
Excuse me. I totally agree, and we have to understand how we've previously been mentioning. Just because it's good in one region doesn't mean it's good down here. I think we as a society, we as human beings, we're creatures of habit. Oh, I need to go fishing. Oh, I need to be on the golf course. Or I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. Guys, these individuals have taken tough stances in regards to this virus, and we need to adhere to them. We need a sacrifice. We all talk about wanting to go about our normal daily lives. Well, we won't get to that if we don't practice isolation, if we don't practice social distancing, if we don't practice staying at home. And that's the issue. Everybody's so gun-ho on, oh, Judge Trevino doesn't want me fishing, or oh, Judge, Mayor Mendez doesn't want me out golfing. It's not that, guys. It's they're seeing the bigger picture. And again, Mayor Mendez did mention, as of right now, he does feel comfortable opening up the city. But the thing is, Harlingen, which has 147 positives and 13 out of the 14 deaths right now, It's something to be cautious about, Erasmo. So if we start opening up these golf courses, people going fishing, we have the possibility of the resurgence. And again, we've been talking about the resurgence for a couple weeks now. We've been hearing from Dr. Zamir. We've been hearing from Dr. Sardan in regards to, hey, we might get a second wave of the flu. The flu season is coming around. So if we do open up shop too soon, we might get hit with the second wave. And that's what I commend, Judge Trevino and Mayor Mendez for, seeing the bigger picture, seeing the possibility of this dragging on for even longer than we expect. So it's upon us, guys, to police ourselves. It's a sacrifice. We hoped, obviously, this isn't going to go on forever. They're not taking away golf forever. But it's something that needs to be done for the greater good.
Now, Mo, again, I'll respond to everything out there, guys. And I mean, Mo says conversation should be had with the board president. The board president is an idiot, has no 2 brain cells in her head, an idiot. She was placed as board president by Sylvia Atkinson, literally placed by Sylvia Atkinson on there because she could control her. She still controls her. So that's fine. Conversation should have been had with the board president and board. They should also, and again, Mo, I'm going to say this again. I know for a fact that the mayor of the city of Brownsville had constant communication, regular communication, still has regular communication with the superintendent, because again, the decision in regards to ending the school year fell on the superintendent. So that's the individual who the mayor and any other elected official in the city of Brownsville should have been having conversations with. With that said, I know Mayor Mendez. I know him very, very well. I know for a fact that he has been open to dialogue and communication with anyone. I mean, he's had it with us. He's had it with the people. You think he's not going to be having it with the school board? Of course he has. And of course he will in regards to the decision process. But the decision-making process in regards to ending the school year does fall on the mayor of the city of Brownsville. And ending individuals to come onto the... I mean, we've shared the documents, guys. We've shared the documents. It's been out there. Now, one of the things that the board attorney came out and said, and was a lie, was saying that there was no communication between the mayor and the school district. That was a lie, 100% a lie, a big old lie, because I know for a fact that there was communication. And again, has the district dropped the ball? They have dropped the ball immensely, embarrassingly. You can't beat up on the district and superintendent and then give a pass on the county judge for allowing golf courses. No, and we haven't, Mo. And literally, we haven't. Personally, I think if you've been on here, my man, you know that we've said it's a bad idea. We even said that it was sort of elitist because the rich get out there, wanted to go play golf, and even the writing on it. I mean, we've said it on our nightly show, and I'll say it again. It was dumb. So and it says only the members could go with membership to go to the golf course. And I even said, you know what? Open it up for everyone. Y ahí va ir Erasmo con un palito, con something with my tennis racket, and I'm going to be hitting the ball into the thing. But no, it's only open to an elite group. And that's what we've been saying against. And we even mentioned, guys, mejor open up fishing. Fishing is for everyone. The poor, the rich, the wealthy, everyone. Open up something that, you can maintain that social distance. But they signaled out golf courses. They signaled out golf courses because of the elite rich. And I've said it, and I'm not retracting it. That's my opinion. And the other one, and again, and guys, look, it's very simple, guys. And again, no backlash to the Judge Eddie Trevino, but it is the elite and the rich that have the ear of the elected officials, guys. And again, and I'm going to applaud Mayor Mendez again, because everyone in the city of Brownsville has the ear of Mayor Mendez, and that's what makes him different. But for the little rich, they have the ear of the elected officials because they donate that to them because, well, look, tú quieras. And they're out there crying, we want golf back. We want golf back. And they get golf back. And in regards to the car washes, I'm going to say it, guys. A lot of people know that there's a lot of vested interest in regards to individuals here that are around those political circles that desperately wanted the car washes back. I've been very vocal. I don't consider car washes, and I have friends that own car washes. I don't consider car washes an essential service in the minimum, because see, if you want your car nice and clean, vete a lavarlo con la manguera like we all used to do before. Very simple, guys. We want the Brownsville Airport ever closed or severely restricted. Personally, I want the airport monitored. I want to know who's coming in. But I've also said it in regards to Moe. Thank you, Moe. I appreciate you. You know I love you, bro. Again, I'm going to say it again. I've said it. I've said it live, and keep on saying me personally. My message has not changed. I want everyone that's coming into the city of Brownsville from the bridge, from the airports. I want them monitored. I want to make sure that the people that are coming in, are not bringing in more Rona to the city of Brownsville. Also, thank you guys for this forum. I love you, man. You know I love you. And again, Moe is a clear example. We don't always have to agree on everything, but we can have civil discourse. Again, if you're going to come out here and say, "Oh, F you, Erasmo, you're fat and totally not handsome," if you're going to come out there and be disrespectful, I'm going to do what Mayor Mendez said he just does. Cut you off at the track, bro. But we can have civil discourse. We can disagree, and that's okay. I don't agree with everything that with Mayor Mendez. He just made mention of that today. We have disagreements in regards to the peaking time. I still think that we have not yet peaked. I don't think we yet peaked. I think that we're on that little slope. That's fine. We can have the disagreements. It doesn't mean that we're not social to each other. We're not respectful to each other. Civil discourse is what makes this country great. It's what makes this forum amazing. And again, as I can have a civil discourse with everyone. And again, to anyone out there, especially now that you're being live streamed on this, my second page, anyone out there that we've had this discussions with, guys, let me know, and we'll make amends and we'll move forward, guys. Carrying hands EMS. Oh, I love my EMS people, but we do need more ambulances. Saludos, Luis Bejarano. But again, guys, I am very disappointed, and more than anything, with the lack of leadership coming from BISD. And after you totally svelte and totally handsome, it's so true.
No lo chives.
It's true. It's true. Last night on duty, people still keep on being out and about like nothing. And that's part of the problem with having these individuals. Erasmo, morning, Frank, Sergio. I have a senor. Why can't they have a morning, afternoon, and evening graduation? Keep the kids apart, and they graduate. Parents can see. I think Sergio, and again, this is where the city of Brownsville, and I think Mayor Mendez alluded to it in a little way. Again, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but alluded to it in regards to the graduations in the city of Brownsville. There cannot be, because we are still at that little phase where it's still unknown, guys. And credit to the superintendent. I had a short conversation with him, and they said that they were considering in their head, and again, they were considering in their head the possibility of having giving 2 tickets to. They've been researching it, guys. And again, credit where credit is due. Now that we've been saying it for a long time, they are starting to think about it. Which again, credit where credit is due. And they have thought of different scenarios into keeping people separate and giving 2 tickets. Again, great ideas. If the superintendent does not have conversations with the mayor of the city of Brownsville, they should not be planning on having any graduations, guys.
Yep.
Así de fácil, because the city of Brownsville is not going to permit it. And ultimately, guys, the power lies in the city of Brownsville. Under what law? Under state law, under a federal law. It gives the mayor of the city the right to act in regards to a pandemic, in regards to ending events for the city. It is law. I mean, we mentioned it. We didn't only mention it. We actually posted it several weeks back, Moe. And Moe, you might not have been here back then, but it is out there. And I don't know, you can find it real quick, Frankie. But all you have to do is do a Google search, my man. And it's
Googlealo,
Moe. But under law, the one that has the last say is the mayor of the city. It's that, again, during an emergency declaration, and we are under emergency declaration. We are under disaster situation. So, yeah, the mayor does have the authority and has the power. So again, my recommendation is a recommendation to the superintendent, although he wants to decir por los míos and slap the city commission and the mayor in the face. I mean, that's if that's the type of leadership that they want to demonstrate to the city of Brownsville, that's their call. But again, it's not what is in the best interest of the city of Brownsville, guys. Not in any way, shape, or form. They should be coordinated with the city of Brownsville, everything that they're talking about in regards to the graduation. But the virtual graduation that we heard that they were planning is a great thing. Again, it's a good first step. It's starting to see that they're trying to go out there. I have, guys, and it's vague and subject to interpretation. Yeah, but again, courts would have a field day with it. It's a slippery, and I understand, Mo. The issue is it shouldn't be a matter of interpretation, and we shouldn't be focused on the court situation. There should be coordination between the superintendent and the mayor of the city of Brownsville. Coordination. El problema with the superintendent, and I'll tell you because I was there, and I'll tell you, my man, the issue with it is that the superintendent is getting horrible advice from the board attorney because the board attorney thinks himself untouchable. The board attorney is more powerful than any of the elected school board members there, any of them, because they've given them the power. I guarantee you 100%. Bring Colin on. Many questions for him. I actually had a conversation with Philip Cowan yesterday. Again, and I'll say this publicly. I love Philip. Philip has been a friend of mine. I think Philip tends to flip-flop a lot of the times, but I love Philip. I love his family. I've been in Philip's home. I love Philip 100%. I will invite Philip again to come on and I have done it publicly. Again, I love Philip. Still haven't figured out why there hasn't been a declaration of martial law. We don't want a declaration of martial law. We don't want that. We don't want those steps being taken. What we want is for individuals to, there shouldn't be a need.
Police themselves.
Yeah, police yourselves, guys. To a certain level, police yourself in regards to it. But again, and I will say, I do have a lot of issues in regards to do BISD and the city of Brownsville have conference calls? Do they communicate? The city of Brownsville has done its best. I know for a fact, Reese, to have constant communication with the superintendent. The board attorney is Baltasar. Baltasar is an idiot. No martial law, please. Thank you. Exactly. Again, guys, we don't want martial law. Trust me, we sure as heck don't. I've read up on martial law. I've seen martial law in action, not personally, but I've seen it out there. And let me tell you guys, it's not very pleasant. And we don't want to be a policing state to that respect. We want to be policing people, where we can basically police ourselves. Look, guys, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to put false hope in our people, in regards to graduation. Guys, we've been saying it. Start putting in the minds of our graduates and our parents, guys, it's not going to happen. Let's not plan on it. Let's see other measures. Like, we've posted options, banners in the city, banners on a BISD property. Great stuff, guys. Find ways to cheerlead, to honor our amazing students. Find ways. But in regards to giving individuals false hope of there might be a graduation, it's a mistake. It's a mistake because, it goes back to everyone gets a participating trophy. Everyone gets a participant trophy. No, guys, no more participant trophies. Martial law would stop virus in its tracks, right? 30 days hard lockdown? No, it would not. Not with this virus. I don't think this virus is nothing that anyone has ever seen before. No, nothing that anyone could ever have been prepared for. But again, the only individuals that can stop the virus are you and me. Those are the individuals who can truly stop this virus and who have the responsibility of trying to stop this virus. You and me. It shouldn't fall on the government. It should be responsible actions taken by the citizens of the government. I mean, the citizens are the government. And again, it falls on us. It doesn't fall on them. I'll be okay if the push graduation in a few months. Yeah, and again, we've made mention of that, Luis. And I'll say it again. The only issue with that, Luis, is that, students college students who are actually going into I don't want to put out my trash out there in the back, but college students, seniors that are graduating, they're focused on college, guys. You know, they're focused on getting ready for to start in August at different universities out there. So my issue with that is what's going to happen if you have a graduation in August? Let's say you have a graduation in August. What about our students that are already in July? They've already moved. You know, have already moved to Austin, San Antonio, West Texas, Houston. Have already gone out there for their school. You know, it's unfeasible. Again, guys, we're going to have limited graduation. I understand the reality, but still, I am disappointed with virtual graduations. So, yeah, I agree. My child has had many obstacles and disabilities to overcome just to reach this milestone. It's a special meaning for us. Oh, well, who cares? It's just high school graduation. Well, you know, Julie, I'll say this much. You know, and my seniors know, I love my seniors, and I wish that the circumstances were different. Unfortunately, they are not. But you know what, Julie? It's a way of teaching a life lesson, Julie. And you and I have lived long enough, Julie, that we know that things don't always work out the way, you know, we had planned or expected. So what we do is we take the challenge and we overcome. So it's a good life lesson for students. Y lo que pasa is that a lot of our students, you know, graduating, and not all of them, you know, but a lot of our students, they haven't experienced those situations because they've been protected, sheltered at home. You know, life nos da trancazos, and this is a big trancazo, you know? So yeah, you know, they've overcome a lot of things to come to this point in their time. There'll be other milestones for them, you know, there'll be other hurrah moments for them. And, you know, we'll be able to look back at this and say, hey, we survived the 2020 quarantine. You know, I actually saw some socks out there on social media, 2020, like graduates, and the hats are being thrown in the air and toilet paper is being thrown in the air. 2020 quarantine survivor, you know, stuff like that, you know, and I might actually make myself one of those shirts, graduate survivor, something like that. So, you know, we take what's thrown at us and, you know, we make lemonade from limones, you know. Yes, it is. I wonder if the mayor has any plans for avoiding 2 Amigo Land malls in Brownsville. Let me tell you, I'm sure that they're doing the best as possible. The city of Brownsville cannot afford another Amigo Land mall, you know, cannot afford another Amigo Land mall. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Chris. I hope that a lot of the business out there survive. I just don't see how they're going to survive, you know. I don't see how our mall is going to survive because a lot of the little stores in there, you know, maybe the big ones like Dillard's or I don't even think JCPenney is going to survive because of the closing they were having. But again, maybe Dillard's, the movie theater, those might survive. But all the other little ones, I mean, God, do y'all know how much people pay in rent out there? $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 a month, guys. I'm sorry for not bringing in any income during this time. It's very difficult. What will students do to get their property from school lockers? Students need to contact the school principal, the people that are there, and make arrangements for them to, you know, to sanitize and to have their stuff out there ready. Many colleges and universities are adjusting their scheduled graduation events because of this. So it could happen. Again, Ronnie, could, would, should, but, you know, don't plan on it. You know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but don't plan on it, guys. Mejor start preparing and teaching the students that such is life. It might not happen. And if it happens, great. You know, I'm all for it. But let's start getting ready for in case it doesn't. You know, guys, we've got to start preparing our children, guys. And, you know, and the students out there, start preparing them mentally. Guys, this could not happen. It's probably not going to happen. If it happens, hooray. If it doesn't, you know, guys, take it as a life lesson. How are incoming college students be allowed to move to their new schools if the nation is still on shelter in place in the northern states? Again, a lot of the different little towns out there, Juan, are starting to reopen slowly. And again, going to college this year is going to be different from going to college before. Because if you remember what people were doing last year at about this time, parents were, oh, I'm going, and they were crying, and they were moving their student in, and not right now, but in June, July, they were moving their student into college, and there was those pictures on social media, and they were great, you know. This year might be completely different. Most colleges out there are already preparing to start the year online, you know. A lot of college courses, a lot of classes are going to be online. So a lot of our students might not even need to move to Austin, might need to move to San Antonio, but a lot of them may still want to have that experience. You know, it just depends on the individual and what they're experiencing out there. But you know, we just don't know yet. We don't know yet. But again, the cities are going to be opening, the schools are going to be opening at a little level, and that goes back to my other point. The district right now should be preparing for next year distant learning, not struggling to bring teachers back on campus now for distant learning and to volunteer people to go. And most of my people at BISD know what volunteer means. Start having folk on regarding hurricane season, never too early. Again, I agree with Paul. We need to understand and realize that we're going to have other things that we're going to have to deal with. Mosquitoes. Last night I went outside to look for a litter box for my sister because I have multiple litter boxes because I have cats, and she just got a cat, a beautiful small little cat. So I said, yeah, I have a litter box. So I went outside to go look in the shelter because I always have like 3 or 4 extra. And let me tell you, those skeeters attacked me, bro. Gacho. They're vicious. So again, we need to be very, very careful. You know, we don't want to add a pandemic to another pandemic. China claims to have tested a vaccine that will kill the virus. I don't trust China, communist China, as far as Moe can throw them. And Moe can throw
China.
I don't trust the China as much as Moe can throw them. And Moe is very strong, I think. You guys should ask Ruben Cortez on and ask what he knows. Frankie, can you send him a message? Frankie is going to send Ruben Cortez a message. We'll see if he responds. Ruben is a friend of mine, so I'm hoping that he takes it. And again, I agree. Mo, and just to clarify, when TEA makes recommendations, they are not necessarily fitting every single district in the state of Texas, guys. Now, that the superintendent wants to say, well, these are the recommendations of TEA is stupid. It's stupid. Very stupid. And irresponsible. Very irresponsible and very stupid. For the superintendent to say, these are the recommendations of TEA and this is what we're going to have to buy. Is that a bald spot? No. Is that a bald spot? Oh my gosh, I'm starting to worry. No más, es el gel. It's the gel. Sorry, guys. I don't want to be bald like Carlos Elizondo. Hey, guys, again, to take the recommendations of TEA and say, these are the recommendations of TEA, we have to follow them, is stupid. Very stupid. Because TEA recommendations are for the entire state of Texas. And we talked about that with Mayor Mendez. Not everything fits everywhere. No one is at fault for this virus. Everyone wants the graduation. It's a once-in-a-lifetime inconvenience. And again, no one is at fault. It's true. Everyone wants a graduation. We all want a graduation. But the reality of it is, can we live with it? No. I think the country and government of China are heavily faulted in this. Hell yeah! And let me tell you, I think Missouri's already filed a lawsuit against China. And again, China. And again, more states should file lawsuits against China. China is 100% to blame. I heard from 2 graduating seniors who will not be able to enroll into college because they have not been able to sign their admission letters because delayed from school counselors. What is the feedback from other? Okay, and I'll address this. I have had conversations with some of the principals out there, and let me tell you, some of the principals out there are on this 24/7. They're out there, they're available. So make sure, Juan, that these 2 graduating seniors have actually had conversations with their principals, because I've had conversations with several of our principals out there, and they're doing a phenomenal job. Our high school principals are as worried in regards to admission letters, to the reference letters, a lot of finalizing. So they are out there, Juan. So please have them reach out. And if they haven't, have them reach out to me, and I will make sure that our principals are out there having conversations with these students. You know, I'm very blessed to have great communication with a lot of our counselors out there, most of our principals out there. So yeah, please send them my way, Juan, and I'll take care of it. I promise. Anyone? Noah Bart? No. Some good news? Go ahead, Mo. We're waiting for the good news. Oh, you want us to give you good news? I mean, I think everything that we've said has been good news. You know, it's been good news in regards to that. You know, we have basically contained it in the city of Brownsville, despite the fact that just a skip hop away in Harlingen, Texas, it's a major deal. And anyone that wants to say that it's not a major problem or a major situation issue is lying to you. It is very, very serious in Harlingen. In Harlingen, not in Brownsville. Brownsville, and again, I'm going to credit the mayor because of the mayor's leadership and because the mayor has been proactive and because the mayor, and again, and people, you all know me very, very well. I don't kiss anyone's butt, and I'm not kissing the mayor's ass, but you applaud. You applaud when people do well, and you call them out when they do bad. And the mayor has been very, very proactive. And because of the mayor's actions, I will dare to say that we are not in the same situation that Harlingen is in right now. And anyone that wants to downplay the matter is ridiculous. Harlingen is in trouble. Harlingen as a city is in trouble. And you know what? Let me say this before I go into Mo's comment. Despite the fact, listen, guys, despite the fact that Harlingen is a mess because of the 2 nursing homes, a mess. And despite the fact that Harlingen, the city, is in trouble, you know who has shined out there in Harlingen? Shined. The school district.
Yep.
The school district in Harlingen has shined in regards to the school board. And my hat's off to Eladio and to the other individuals on there, man. They've shined. The school district has been proactive, has taken measures far and above and beyond our poor leadership here at the district here in Brownsville. I mean, they excluded children from going back and forth to go pick up meals way early in the game, man. They've been proactive in regards to preparing for next year. Our district hasn't. I mean, I think it's Dr. Gonzalo out there, or Gonzalo
in Harlingen. It's Dr. Art Cavazos.
Art Cavazos, Dr.
Superintendent.
Let me tell you, Dr. Cavazos, phenomenal job for Harlingen School District, despite the fact that they have had a horrendous situation, and it's a horrendous situation right now. The superintendent, Dr. Cavazos, Dr. Cavazos, phenomenal job. Some good news: fish replenishing in our beautiful. Oh yeah, because the human virus has not been out there, Mo. The human virus has not been out there to decimate our beaches and to decimate our fishing. So yeah, as soon as that eases up and opens up, we're going to have some amazing fish fries. Amazing fish fries. So when Bisd giving meals again? Tuesday and Thursday. And again, I am not happy with it. I am not happy with them. I'm not happy because they're still asking for children to be in the vehicle. 3, 4, 5 children in one vehicle back and forth. It's despicable. It's despicable. What are the 2 nursing homes in Harlingen? Veranda and Windsor Atrium. Veranda and Windsor Atrium. And again, there might be other small little cases and others we don't not sure in Harlingen. We're not sure. And again, we don't want to scare anyone. But again, Harlingen is a mess. And again, Harlingen is our sister city. It's our neighbor right next door. So we have to be very, very cautious. And I think that the infected individuals in San Benito are directly related to Harlingen, you know, and maybe some from Los Fresnos and from Rio Hondo. Again, from Rio Hondo, I will say that are directly related to the nursing home. Now, guys, the problem, and we need to cut it off, guys, because we've already been on here an hour and 20 minutes. But let me say, guys, the problem with the nursing homes in Harlingen is like, you know, the city didn't act as fast or as quick as they should have. And again, people policing themselves did not happen in Harlingen. So what happens is you have employees, because an employee, I think the county already mentioned that an employee took it into the nursing home. You know, an employee took it into the nursing home and infected a lot of the viejitos there. And then these employees went and worked at the atrium and infected the people there. But that's not where it stops. They also went back home, the employees, and infected their families. So, guys, Harlingen is a mess. And again, and my prayers go out for Harlingen. It's a mess. I just can't believe how the superintendent BISD board has so much power. You are on the inside. How do we change that besides elections? Chris, we change it by electing right. By electing right. Because let me tell you, the problem with the school board is that we need some campaign finance reform, and they're not willing to do it. Some campaign finance report. And let me clarify. The power right now at on the board lies on the board attorney. The board attorney is the most powerful individual in the entire district and has them all by la tatanacas, has them all controlled. He controls the superintendent, controls every single board member on there. He is the powerhouse out there. And this is the issue, Chris, while he causes chaos by making the superintendent slap our mayor in the face, while he causes chaos, it's called job security. Because as long as there's chaos, attorneys have a job. And he wants to protect his $320,000 a year job. So it's not in the board. What we need to do is elect individuals who are going to limit themselves and stop micromanaging everything that the district does. We have to go in there and make sure that the superintendent is actually doing his job. This superintendent has not been doing his job, has only brought in his buddies from Edinburgh and has not been doing his job. Has not. Because according to policy, he should have taken this by the horns way early, had been in constant conversations with the mayor, and have taken decisive action. He did not. They're passing the buck back and forth amongst themselves. You know what's wrong with this community? We still have those people are corrupt and it starts with BISD. And when elections come, I will be out there letting the people know how corrupt BISD. We need new board members and superintendent. Thank you, Sergio. And we need everyone in the city of Brownsville to do the same. Not only go out and vote, but take family, friends, relatives, neighbors, everyone out there to vote. Right on that, we need to get family and friends out there 100%. Term limits. I agree, Mo. Campaign finance reform, term limits. Guys, Minerva's been there for 16 years. The stupidest elected official I've ever encountered, and I've been through many forums in the United States. The stupidest elected official. But you know what? I don't blame her because, she's got that nada arriba. It's the people that vote her in. Because she's Minerva. And, Minerva, she is the stupidest person I've ever encountered in my life. The stupidest person. I mean, Sylvia was conniving and a rata, limit campaign expenditures by any candidate to 10,000. I actually believe it should be a little bit less, but 10,000 is fine with me, Mo. I agree. But Minerva is stupid. I'll go for superintendent. Let me tell you, I'll take the job and the pay. First, I'll take the pay, then I'll take the job. But no, I want y'all to consider me for board president. I do. Board president this November. And we'll be announcing early May. But yeah, I need your help. Enough of it. And I promise you, term limits to be placed in, and also campaign finance reform for the school board, for anyone that wanting to seek elections into the school board, 100%. How about we elect people who have children in the district? Yeah, exactamente. Unfortunately, we have individuals that have children in private school because son de la high. And let me tell you, folks, and I don't have anything against the high and the elite in Brownsville or in Rancho Viejo. I don't. But they do not compromise. I can't think of the word. They do not.
What are you trying to say?
O sea, que no son la mayoría.
They're not the majority?
It starts with a C. They do not compose. They do not compose the greater percentage of the people of Brownsville. The greater percentage of the people of Brownsville are in the socioeconomic status of poor or middle class. The elite are very, very small. And unfortunately for us, the elite have the ears of the elected officials, and they can basically control the elections because they pour in tens of thousands of dollars on idiots who they would rather serve themselves than serve a community. I mean, everybody's stupid, can't speak, and actually a damn idiot. Erasmo for board president. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, I will need y'all's help in November. And they may say, oh, Erasmo, are you announcing now? I'll announce in May. And I mean, y'all know where my heart is, and y'all know what my intentions are. So we'll see what happens, guys. Frankie, anything other that we need to cover today, this morning? It's been a busy morning.
It's been a busy morning. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Again, thanking Mayor Mendez for being accessible to our community. It's very important for us to hear from the mayor himself. So thank you so much. Guys, there's other ways in which we can celebrate our graduates of 2020. I want to send a special shout out to our friends at Digital Print and Advertising. A couple days ago, earlier this week, they graciously gave back to the community by donating 10 yard signs of graduates so they can display at their homes. There's other ways for us to celebrate, and one of them would be with our friends at Digital Print and Advertising. So go ahead and call them, guys, for any big heads, any shirts, and any yard signs. Also, I want to remind the public, if y'all don't feel like cooking today and want to have a meal out, the Sunrise Mall, the food court will be having a curbside from 12 to 6 p.m. In case you guys want to catch that. And special shout out again, like always, to our friends at Sunglass Forum and the Rodriguez family. Thank you so much, guys. See you guys tonight at 9 p.m.
I'll answer again before I go out. I'll answer the question again, guys. I will answer any question. Who else do you want on the board with you? I want Michael Rodriguez on the board with me. I want Carlos Elizondo on the board with me, and I hope Tim Ramirez had an opportunity to be on the board with me. And we have one more spot out there. We have 5 seats out there, guys. As that we need the majority of the board back. And I'm going to be asking my friends and family, to consider individuals and, to answer the question, have them answer the questions that we won't. In regards to who's our guest host, I think Tim Ramirez is going to be on today. I think Tim Ramirez is a great individual. He was out there. He's a good friend of mine. Tim was out there volunteering for food distribution, and he actually got kicked out from volunteering to distribute food, all because of Drew. And he'll tell us the story. I won't tell the story for you, but Drew hates anyone and everyone that is not in her little clique, and she hates everyone at BISD. So cool. Our mayor is awesome and cares about our community and our schools 100%. Un carnazazo for those graduates. Hey man, as soon as we can. I'm all for it, guys. Is that an invite you pay it, Osmo? No. I'm the poor board member, remember. Porque ya no hacen estos en vivo en la otra página que tienes y los en vivos en español. Laura, queremos traer los vivos en español. Estamos esperando tener al doctor Joan Rodríguez con nosotros o un doctor de Matamoros. El problema con mi otra página es de que estamos sin poder poner en ella por el Facebook Jail. Pero mientras tengamos tengamos el YouTube, les encargo mucho que vayan a YouTube Channel y que se inscriban al YouTube Channel. Es muy importante, por favor. Por favor, Laura. Y disculpa que pues no estamos en la otra página. Dios mediante, pronto estaremos ahí de nuevo. I'll run too. Chris, come talk to me, bro. Again, I want individuals who are going to support cleaning up BISD from the top. And what I mean is by, starting on the top and clearing out what needs to be cleared out. And that includes the board attorney. That guy's got to go 100%. And I don't care if he throws in tens of thousands of dollars, which he will. He's going to put $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 against me. I don't care. Again, I've run against a lot of money. I run against opponents with a lot of money. And let me tell you guys, I don't give a rat's ass. I'll run with $500 if that's what I can put together. I'll run with $1,000. But I'll tell you one thing. I will never, ever take money that does not belong to me. I will not steal from our children like Sylvia, Minerva, Prissy, and Drew did. Never take what is not mine. They did. They stole from our children. They fomented the culture that permitted Sylvia to take bribes from federal undercover agents. Never forget that, guys. Never forget that. Great picks. Gente de la comunidad. Oh, okay. Gracias, Laura. Make Brownsville great again. Whoa, guys, have a great day. I love you all. Stay safe. Be good to each other. Be good to me. Be good to Frankie a little bit. Not too much. And guys, together, you know, we're going to get through this. Together, we're going to push forward, guys. But again, it takes a village. Toda Hillary, it takes a village, guys. And together, man, together, we can bring together we can bring Brownsville the change that it truly deserves if we actually work together. I love you all. God bless. Bye, guys. Tonight, 9 o'clock at night, Tim Ramirez will be on. I don't know if anybody else will be on. Also, please go to YouTube, Erasmo Castro, and subscribe. Cheese Crips, no tengo las microondas aquí. God bless. Love you guys.